Hello to whoever is watching. Today is the day we start lesson 28. Make sure you put the date that you're doing this on the top of your page, and you don't have to write date, you're just going to write the month and the day. The subject we're going to tackle today is word problems. I know you're just super excited, but this won't be too bad if you pay attention really closely. I'm probably going to put up an extra video as well, because I'm just going to solve 2 word problems in this lesson. And then you can watch the other one for a little bit more help if you need it, which I'm guessing we probably will. So, first thing you're going to write down here is ESC goes to MSC. So this is our other formula we use with division of estimate, solve, check. We're going to turn that today into model, solve, check, and I'll write that up for you right now here in your notes. There you are. So like I said, it is just model, solve, check. That's the format that we're going to be using, and we'll talk more about that here in just a second. And our learning target today is this. I am able to solve division word problems involving multi-digit division. So if you're doing pretty well with division already, this won't be that bad. You'll understand everything to do. All you have to do is just pick apart the word problem. And again here, whenever you reflect at the end, make sure you have a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4, and you're just going to circle whichever one you think you are and explain why. But we'll come back to that here in a second. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, this is the first big problem that we're going to try and solve here, and then we're going to do this a little bit differently than normal. I want you to pretty much just follow me along on this first problem, and then on the second problem I want you to try solving it first after you see how I'm going to try solving this. So pause, make sure you're writing all this down, but pretty much just do what I'm doing on this first problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is read through the problem. So read with me here. Ava is saving for a new computer that costs $1,218. She has already saved half the money. Ava earns $14 per hour at her job. How long must she work to save the rest of the money? So what I like to do when I'm reading along with these problems is I like to underline what the question wants me to answer first, which is how long must she work to save the rest of the money? And that's going to be at the C part of our MSC formula for solving these problems. We've got to check and make sure what we have actually answers the question, which is, like I said, how long must she work to save the rest of the money? So we're going to think that's probably going to be in time, right? Because it's how long. So maybe it's hours, days, weeks, we don't know. We'll figure it out soon here based on what's reasonable. The second thing I like to do is circle any important information. So she's saving for a new computer. It costs $1,218. That's one thing. The other thing, and this is huge, is she has already saved half the money. So we're not trying to figure out how many 14s will go into 1,218. We're trying to figure out how many 14s will go into half of that, I think. Ava earns $14 per hour at her job. So we have 3 things. $1,218 is how much it costs. She's got half the money, and she earns $14 per hour. So the very first thing we need to think is, can you draw something? And if so, what conclusions can you make from your drawing? So let me show you what I'm going to draw real quick. Alright, so this is what I have drawn right here. This is just a tape diagram, which is this big box split into 2. And we'll talk about why I split it into 2 here in a second. But first, this whole box represents how much money she needs, which is $1,218. So if you need to, go ahead and pause real quick and make sure you have this box and this money copied down real quick. I'm going to continue on, though. So right here is, on the left, is what she has saved. And over here on the right is what she needs. So I don't know, how am I going to figure out how much she has saved and how much she needs? Well, it says up here in the problem, we already have it circled, so she already saved half the money. So that tells me something. Whenever we need something cut in half, whenever we need to figure out how much half of something is, we just divide it by 2. So she has half of $1,218 saved up. So all that is then is just 2 divided by, 1,218 divided by 2. Well, we know how to do this really quickly here. 2 won't go into 1, but it will go into 12. It will go into 12 6 times exactly, which leaves us with 0. So we'll bring down the next digit, which is 1. Will 2 go into 1? Absolutely not, it won't. So we're going to put a 0 right above the 1, and we have to bring down another digit, 18. 2 will go into 18, 19, or excuse me, 9 times. I know it will go in exactly, minus 0, 1, 8, and we'll have 0 left. So we see that half of 1,218 is just $609, which of course over here means that what we need over here, or what she still needs, is $609. So she has this, she needs this, but here's the thing. This does not answer our problem. We are not done yet. Because let's look at what it asks. It says, how long must she work to save the rest of the money? If you answer $609, it says how long, right? Dollars doesn't answer this question up here that says how long must she work? So we need another bit of information. Well, let's move on to what we have. So we've used this part up here, the total amount, and we've already cut that amount in half to figure out how much half the money is. Our next bit of information says Ava earns $14 per hour at her job. How long must she work? So basically, what we're thinking here on the right, what we need to answer is how many 14s do we need? That's the division problem that we need to solve, is how many 14s do we need to solve this problem? So I have to set up a division problem. What we're going to do is divide 609 by 14. Alright, so I shrunk down the rest of the problem to give myself a little bit more room, and I set up my problem that I need to solve right here. So again, the problem that we're trying to solve is how many times will 14 go into 609? That's how many hours does she need to work to save up $609? So I know off the top of my head that 15 times 4 is 60. 14 is really close to 15. So I know it won't go into 6. It's going to go in 0 times into 6, but it will go in 4 times into 60. So that's going to be 56. And the difference between 60 and 56 is just 4. Now 14 won't go into 4, but it will go into 49. And it will go in 3 times because it only went into 60. Excuse me, it only went into 60 4 times, and that was 56. So I need to think, what is 14 times 3? And that's going to be 42, which will leave me with 7 left over. So my answer here is 43 with the remainder of 7. So let's see how we can use that to help us solve our problem. Alright, so I shrunk it down just a little bit more over here. So we said that 14 will go into 609 43 times, and you'll have 7 out of 14 left over. So actually, here's another one where we have 7 over 14. 7 is exactly half of 14, so another way you can write this is just 1/2, which makes a lot of sense considering that this 43 is a particular unit where a half makes a lot of sense. So we said, how many 14s was our question that we needed to answer over here to figure out this part of the problem, which is how long must she work to save the rest of her money? Well, we have the answer now. We just need to make sure it makes sense and is reasonable. So our answer was 43.5. So let's see. It should be how many 14s? Should be 43.5, which is the same thing as a half. So our answer altogether should be 43.5 hours, because that is the unit that we need to answer with. Because again, last time here it says how long must she work? Well, she needs to work for 43.5 hours, supposedly. So we're going to go ahead and circle that. I'm pretty sure that's the answer, but I'm not just going to take work, because I could have messed up at some point. I'm going to take 43.5 and multiply it by 14 and see if I get 609. Let's just do that really quickly here to make sure. So I'm going to say 43.5, do a little decimal multiplication. I'm going to move this up here actually, a little out of the way. Oh, maybe I'm not. Never mind. Sorry. 4 times 5 is 20. That's going to be 0. Regroup the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, which is 14. Regroup the 1. 4 times 4 is 16, which is really going to be 17. 1, 7. Okay, and we have a 0 right there. We're going to put a decimal point 2. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. So we get 0.90, and that's going to be 609. So yes, 43.5 hours is a very reasonable answer, and it is totally correct. So this is how you solve this kind of division word problem. Let's try one more problem. This time on the next one, I want you to try solving it all on your own first. All right, here is the next problem. Remember, the first thing you should try doing is modeling. Think, what do I need to show? What will help me here? First, you want to underline the question and circle any important information, and then think about what you can draw. Tape diagrams are normally a really good thing. Again, I want you to try solving this on your own first. Go ahead and pause now and try seeing what you get. All right, so I've circled and underlined everything I need to do. So there are 1,404 sports cards. Michael wants to sell them in packs of 36 cards, and when everything is done, he wants to have $633.75 in his pocket. So he's going to be a rich guy. So again, the question we need to answer is, if each pack is priced the same, how much should Michael charge per pack? What's he going to sell those packs of 36 cards for to make his money? So I'm going to go ahead and model this. Well, the first thing we need to know is how many packs he's going to be able to get altogether out of those 1,404 cards that he has. So the question we need to answer is how many 36s. So I'm just going to solve a pretty easy division problem to do that. All right, here it is. So what I said was 1,404 divided by 36 equals 39. I didn't show the work on here in the interest of going a little bit more quickly here, but you could do this if you needed to. And the next thing that we need to do is figure out, okay, so he's got these 39 packs of cards that he's going to sell, but he needs to sell them all and get $633.75 at the end. So we have one more division problem we need to solve, and it's this. It is 633.75 divided by 39. And I'll go ahead and solve that really quickly here and put the answer up in just a second. All right, I've got it set up over here to the right. Let's go ahead and solve it. So 39 will not go into 6, but it will go into 63. It will go in exactly one time because 39 is really close to 40. Two groups of 40 is 80, which is way too big. So let's take away 39 from 63. This is going to be 5. This is going to be 13. 4, 2. So we have 24. Will 39 go into 24? No, it will not, but it will go into 243. So this is our next place value. And we will see that it will go in 6 times. If I do some multiplication, I'll figure that out. And 6 groups of 39 is going to be 234. And that will leave me with 9. Let's see, 39 won't go into 9, but it will go into 97. It will go in twice. Now here's an important thing. We have a decimal point right here. I need to add one right here just to make sure I'm good. So it's going to be 2. And 2 groups of 39 is 78. The difference between that is 19. And again, we have one more digit here because 39 won't go into 19, but it will go into 195. We will take away 5 groups of 39, which, believe it or not, is exactly 195. This is our answer right here, 16.25. So our question over here, 633.75 divided by 39. Is just going to be 16.25. Now let's see if we can answer our question, which was, if each pack is priced the same, how much should Michael charge per pack? Well, right now we think $16.25 per pack should be correctly. So let me write my answer real quickly. There we have it. We say Michael should charge $16.25 per pack, and I'm going to go ahead and do the multiplication real quick to check my work. And here is my checked work. I said 16.25 times 39. 9 times 16.25 is 146.25. 30 times 16.25 is 487.50. Altogether, it adds up to 633.75, so we know that our answer is correct. Finally, as always, I want you to go ahead and reflect on how you feel about this new way of doing things. Model, solve, check with these word problems here. So tell me, are you a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4? And explain why. If you want to wait after doing the second part of this lesson to come back and reflect, that's okay too, because you're probably going to need some extra practice. Don't forget, you can always look back at this one if you need a little bit more help figuring out how to pick apart these problems.